What's going on, guys? I'm Tyler, and there is No Perfect Movie. But now that 2020 is upon us, we have a lot more movies to be excited about for this year. To be excited about the new decade, let's hope that the industry keeps changing all for the better. And in this video, I'm going to be counting down 12 movies that I'm excited for the most in 2020. And this list isn't going to be in any particular order because a lot of these that I'm about to mention, I haven't even seen trailers for because I'm trying to walk into everything as blindly as possible as I can. So I feel like if I did rank them based on like trailers or info, that the list would keep changing over and over again. So just a little disclaimer there. First up is Wendy, the follow-up from the director of Beasts of the Severn Wild. It really struck me when I was going through IMDb and I saw a movie called Wendy, and I'm like, I wonder if it's the Peter Pan Wendy. And sure enough, it was. And I am excited to see how you can do a grounded and realistic as possible version of Peter Pan while still having the fantasy and whimsical elements that one would expect from the book, from previous adaptations, anything like that. Tenet, the new Christopher Nolan movie, of course, has a ton of people excited, myself included. I was starting to get a loss a little bit from his last Dark Knight movies and Interstellar, where it felt like they were still good movies, but it felt like the ideas were more important than the characters, and I kind of prefer it to be like equal amounts, not one over the other. But in this movie, he's going back to Inception level, it being an action movie with some positive ideas, and I can kind of guess without really knowing that much what it's going to be about, because the one promo that I did see reminded me of an anime short from the movie Memories. Now, it's a little bit different in that the short for Memories that I'm thinking about was a dark comedy. This is a gritty action thriller, so we'll see how it goes. But as typical with Christopher Nolan, it looks incredibly practical, less CGI reliant. It's got a really good cast, some actors that you wouldn't really expect from a Nolan movie, like John David Washington or Robert Pattinson. So excited either way. I'm definitely going to be going opening night. The Many Saints of Newark. What is The Many Saints of Newark? It is only the prequel movie from HBO and Warner Brothers to The Sopranos. And I was sold based on like the cast and crew, the fact that several crew members are returning. It's directed by Alan Taylor, who directed some of the best episodes. David Chase, the original creator, is co-writing the script and has a lot of creative control in there. The actors, John Bernthal as Johnny Boy, Vera Farmiga as Livia, Corey Stoll, Joey Diaz, the fact that Gandolfini's son, I have seen pictures of him dressed as Tony, and I've seen pictures of him younger. I didn't really think that he could resemble his dad, but based on what I'm seeing, I'm totally okay with it. I hope it doesn't follow the Goodfellas or Irishman route where fucking everything is explained through narration, even though we're watching the facts as it played out. I'm hoping that even though it takes place over the course of a decade or two, it still feels like Sopranos episodes. Very ominous, a lack of music, focused solely on the actors' performances, the camera work, the realistic and really funny, intense dialogue. I'm just I know I'm kind of asking for fan service, but hey, who doesn't? Me and my cousin running just another dime a dozen. Mom and pop stop and shop. And oh my gosh, it's gotten too darn hot. Like my man Cole Porter said, people come through for a few cold waters and a lottery ticket, just a part of the routine. Everybody's got a job, everybody's got a dream. They gossip as I sip my coffee and smirk. The first stop as people hop to work, bust it. I'm like, $1, $2, 150, 169. I got it. You want a box of condoms? What kind? That's 2 quarters. 2-quarter waters. The New York Times, you need a bag for that. The taxes added. Once you get some practice at it, you do rap in mathematics, automatically selling maxi pads, fuzzy dice for taxi cabs. Everybody's practically stressed. Yes, but they press through the mess, bounce checks, and wonder what's next in the Heights. Yes, I am a fan of In the Heights and Lin-Manuel Miranda music in general. I tried so hard not to fumble that. That took a lot of practice to do. But yeah, I was surprised because ever since the Broadway show came out, they've been talking about a movie, and I just never thought it was going to happen. But so far, I'm satisfied with the actors they got. I'm not completely sold on Anthony Ramos as Usnavi, but the trailer was a little more reassuring. Corey Hawkins as Benny. John Chu as a director was something I'm still a little skeptical about, because when you judge him just based on the Step Up movies or Now You See Me, his directing style is very rapid and quick, and that's not really the kind of style I like with musicals. But again, the trailer was reassuring. It made it seem like there were a lot of fluid whites, the fact that Washington Heights looks like a stage in the best ways possible. And I've only seen bits of the show, and I know that even then it's a little loud and cheesy in certain parts, so we'll see how it plays out adaptation wise. It's good that they got the playwright from the show to come back in this one, and yeah, I love musicals, and I'm glad that we have two to be excited for. And the next one we'll talk about right now, the Steven Spielberg adaptation of West Side Story. I feel pretty, oh so pretty, I feel pretty and witty and... Hey, do you think they're gonna change that part of the song? I don't want them to change that part of the song. I think people can piece that part together. If you can listen to the Flintstones theme song and say we'll have a gay old time, I think they can piece that part together. Steven Spielberg doing a musical so late in his career, because really think about it, musicals might be the only genre that he hasn't done before, because even Scorsese and George Lucas have done musicals. Not that they should have, but that's a completely different story. But yeah, Spielberg doing a musical is very reassuring. It feels like we'll get something that's completely his own in terms of his very universal style. I like the casting that we have, Ansel Elgort as the main lead. The rumors that it's going to be a little more faithful to the Broadway play in terms of the story and the dialogue, that should really be interesting. And you know what? I think I'm going to rewatch the old one and maybe do a review about it in the future. Last Night in Soho, the new horror movie from Edgar Wright, has really talented actors. The fact that he's doing a psychological horror as opposed to a zombie movie, that should really be interesting to see what kind of filmmaking techniques that he uses. The cinematographer, who is Park Chan-wook's preferred cinematographer and has been doing a lot more American movies. I love the fact that he's coming over to America and giving movies a little bit more style for Hollywood. So we'll see if he continues to add to that. Anya Taylor-Joy is the main lead. I'm really looking forward to that, and I don't want to say anything else because I don't know anything else about the movie, and let's keep it that way. Now, I have to put Dune on this list because I am a huge Denis Villeneuve fan, and every movie that he releases during that year, it usually ends up on my best of list. I'm not familiar with the book, I'm not familiar with the David Lynch adaptation or the miniseries. Again, I want to go in as blind as possible, not worry about adaptations, not worried about being faithful, just worrying about what I'm going to see on screen. And I'm going to see Timothée Chalamet, Oscar Isaac, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, among so many other great talents. The talent behind the camera in terms of cinematography and music, it also sounds really grand and epic for a sci-fi movie. I've heard that this is part one of a part two, and we'll see how that aspect of the movie goes, but I'm pumped. Now, the two Marvel movies that are coming out this year with the Eternals and Black Widow, I'm most excited for Black Widow because that's the one that they're really pushing for us to be excited about. Eternals is a lot more secretive, and I'm trying to keep away from that to keep it that way, but in terms of Black Widow, I like the fact that she finally got her own solo movie. I like the side cast that we have, Florence Pugh, David Harbour. I'm being told the Taskmaster is a very interesting comic character, and I'm curious what kind of a villain, if he is a villain, will play out. And the fact that it takes place in between Civil War and Infinity War, and the whole thing about her confronting her past, even though she remains a fugitive, well, she'll obviously remain a fugitive at the end, it will be a mystery for sure. Whoever the director is, it looks like they're going to do a really good job with the action scenes, follow the Russo brothers' style of keeping it practical, but also keeping it steady and realistic. And yeah, I'm excited. Do I need to say anything else? No Time to Die, the next James Bond movie. I wasn't entirely excited about it until I heard that Cary Fukunaga, hopefully I said that right, is directing this movie. The fact that we get to see him direct a big budget epic because we didn't have that chance with it. And I was going to avoid the trailers, but I got stuck watching one during Rise of Skywalker, but I was really impressed. He's following what the Sam Mendes ones had in terms of style, very practical, very use of wide shots. Rami Malek is the villain. I'm excited to see. Hopefully they'll portray him as a more sympathetic villain with a relatable motivation, because we didn't really get that with Spectre. The Gentleman, the new gangster comedy from Guy Ritchie, kind of sort of going back to his roots. Let's hope so. Again, fantastic cast: Charlie Hunnam, Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Grant, who when I saw the first trailer, I thought it was Sam Rockwell in like heavy makeup and an accent, and Colin Farrell supposedly pretending to be Brad Pitt from Snatch based on that accent. At least that was the vibe I got. I'd be lying if I said I had 100% clue what the story was about, seeing as how I think weed is still legal in London, or maybe I'm mistaken. But in terms of the trailer, I was sold on the soundtrack, the comedy aspects of the movie, the fact that it looks action-packed, and just looks like a fun movie to start off the year with. Okay, time to pick a Disney Pixar movie, and out of the two that we can choose, I'm going to choose Soul, from the new movie from Pete Docter, because I love that he's the one who kind of gets to be the most creative. When you look at his filmography, like Up, Inside Out, and now this, he gets to make projects that are really out of the box. The casting of Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, Daveed Diggs, it's the kind of casting that you wouldn't expect from a quote-unquote Disney movie, and the story elements, from what I can tell, seem a little more in the vein of Inside Out, where it's a little more honest and a little less compromising, a little less we gotta have a happy ending. I could be wrong on that, but even if I am, that could be a good thing. We'll see how it goes. And last but not least, the movie I am excited to see the most. I have a week off in the day that it's supposed to come out. I'm hoping it stays that way, and that is A Quiet Place Part 2. Any longtime viewers know that A Quiet Place was my favorite movie of 2018. It's one of my all-time favorite horror movies because it just, as a mainstream horror movie, not only feels completely different, but just as a movie itself, I don't see that many indie horror movies that rely solely on visual storytelling, that rely so much on meticulously crafted sound design, costume design, that is so subtle that you have to like really look between the lines to understand and correlate to the story. Child performances that rely so little on talking and just on expressing themselves. Child performances that we really don't get that often anymore. And I'm hoping all those elements carry on in the second movie. The fact that John Krasinski came back as a writer and director, the fact that so many other ideas for A Quiet Place 2 were said no to because they were too franchise-oriented, that is very reassuring. The new casting from Cillian Murphy, Jaimin Unsu, a couple others I don't want to give away because I, like just about everything else on this movie list, I'm so excited I can't speak in complete sentences. Everything marketing-wise, as we know of right now, is still a mystery, and thank God. And the fact that we are... One thing that's not a mystery is the fact that they are going to delve out into the real world and meet new people, and it's implied that the new people are going to have some issues of their own, and whatever those issues are, I'm excited for, because I legitimately have no idea what direction this is going to go. Well guys, those are the movies I'm excited for the most in 2020. What are some of yours? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.